Did we spend all weekend playing Pokemon on our iPhones?
Yep.
Welcome back to Deaton Street. I'm Zach, he's Dustin, and today we're talking about Delta, which is a new emulation app that hit the App Store last week. Before we do that, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps out a ton. It's free for you. We just hit 100 subscribers last week, actually, which would not be possible without all of you liking and subscribing. We really appreciate that. With that being said, let's jump right into it. Dustin, what is Delta and why did we spend all weekend on the application?
So, Delta is a new app on the App Store for iPhones. Delta is a retro video game console/system emulation app that you can play old school games on. Now, emulators have been banned on iPhone for quite a while, but Android users have had it forever, since the beginning of time, So Apple actually reversed course last week in response to the antitrust lawsuit, and that lawsuit was announced like earlier this year. So Apple says only emulators that can load retro games are allowed. Delta has Nintendo DS on back, that's on their controller settings. So I'm assuming that's what they're considering retro. DS, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Nintendo, and Super Nintendo. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much the gist of the Delta app.
And so emulators themselves are completely legal, but downloading copyrighted game files is against copyright law in the US and other countries. So the way to legally do this is to get a device like Delta Sync, which is on their app when you open it up. Basically, you take the console that you have, the cartridge that you have, you can put it in the device and it'll download the game file from that, and you can upload it legally onto your Delta app. So it's kind of the same thing that we used to do with CDs back in the day where, like Tool wasn't on any like digital iTunes or anything. So you'd have to go buy a Tool album, upload it onto your computer, and then re-download it onto your iPad or iPod. So there is a legal way to do it. It does kind of create a problem though, much like Napster was a problem, much like LimeWire was a problem of people are going to do this illegally. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it really kind of seems like these companies should jump in, especially when it comes to like the Pokemon games, and offer some type of subscription service, offer some way for us to pay them in order to get these emulations. So we played all weekend I played Pokemon Blue. What was your thoughts on getting to play an emulation on an iPhone?
So it was mighty nice. To be able to play it on my phone again, because I was an Android user back in the day. So I did have access to all that. I think we're out of the realm of time for me to say that I had downloaded those way back in the day. Did not do it the legal way. Now with the Delta app, it allows you to take those old cartridges that I still do have. A lot of them I do have. And I'm able to play it that way, which is awesome. So I don't have to feel bad about ripping these download files. So it's cool. I agree though that they like Nintendo, for instance, like they should hop on it and like give a subscription service, because they kind of have it right now with the Nintendo online stuff, with their own emulation stuff with the Nintendo Classic, Super Nintendo, yada yada. There aren't any of the Pokemon games or any of the mainstream Pokemon games. And I'm just using Pokemon as a reference. That's one of the ones that's not on the store at all.
Right.
So it's harder to acquire.
So on the Pokemon Online thing, or sorry, the Nintendo Online, is that just for Switch users, or
it's just for the Switch. So and actually just recently, the Wii U, which was the console that was before the Switch, they just shut down their servers. So there's no more eStore on the Wii U, and I think the 3DS, which was the other, like the handheld console. So they shut that down. So the only thing that you can like get stuff on is the Switch currently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, even though you can get the Nintendo games on a Switch, you know, there's nothing wrong with Switches. We have one. My wife uses it more than I use it.
I love mine.
There's just something that's nice about being able to like pull out your phone, the thing that you have on you every day, all day, and then play an old school game, play Mario Kart, play, you know, Pokemon. Pokemon especially. Like, I'm 30, in my 30s. That was it when I was growing up, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I did a playthrough of Pokemon Blue this weekend, and it just brought me back to being a little kid again. My wife was laughing. She came in to the studio room, my office, and all my lights were off, and I was just sitting in front of my my phone all night, right? Or all day and all night last night.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a market there. They're not making money off of this, which is why I think maybe there will be movement on eventually there's like some type of subscription based thing, especially if iPhone is now jumping in on it because of the lawsuit and everything. So we can hope for that. But for right now, I'm really thankful that there's a way for iPhone users to play the games that we grew up loving.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it lights a fire, and I'm only saying Nintendo because that's the market for the retro consoles.
Sure.
A lot of these, you're not going to have PlayStation, like PS1 or the early Xbox. I'm hoping that it lights a fire under Nintendo to put some of these games or start pumping out more games for their classic stuff.
Yeah.
Do I like having it on my phone? Absolutely. And not have to carry around the Switch? Sure. But I would love to have those available on the Switch. Or even if they put them on the store, the way I can purchase them, I would do that. You know? But I get what you're saying. I like the convenience.
Yeah, and there's a whole another. I know Nintendo is associated with the company that owns Pokemon, but they're different companies, and the Pokemon company is like super against letting their old games out for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's because they want to sell their new Pokemon games. But my argument there is let us play the old ones so we'll get nostalgia, so we'll check out the new ones. Win-win. And you get your money both times. So
yeah. Well, if they put out another game like the monstrosity that was Scarlet and Violet, the early bugs on that game were atrocious. But anyway, we'll get past that.
I skipped that one. I did play Sword, though. Sword was cool.
Sword was good. So, yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it. The convenience of the phone would be awesome. They are missing out on a subscription-based entity there. But I don't know that they would ever do that. That's just me.
In the meantime, you know, not encouraging it. I think a lot of people are going to go to essentially the LimeWire of it all, right? And download illegally. I am going to start going cartridge hunting. I think it could actually be a nice little pastime.
That'd be cool.
You know, yeah, just go look around, see what I can find.
Good luck paying the monstrous amount of money for a lot of these cartridges.
Pawn shops. Yeah. But just, you know, go dive at some pawn shops.
Good luck getting a Pokemon game for anything less than the starting retail value that it was.
Well, probably inflation is probably more now.
Oh, absolutely. You're going to pay $50 for a Pokemon game at the start.
See,
anyway,
this is why they need a subscription service or something. I mean, very rarely in my life am I asking for a subscription. I have plenty of them, but this is one that I would definitely give them my money. So, cool. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked this episode, please, again, like and subscribe and leave us a comment. Are you excited about this? Are you an iPhone user that's just been itching to get your hands on an emulator? Let us know. What are you playing?
Yeah.
Peace.
See ya.
I'm walking the streets of nowhere. I'm playing the game.